Good afternoon. You all just witnessed Justin as he shot a second round 69 to finish at 9 under after 36 holes. He teed off on number 10, then he made birdies on numbers 15, 16, 17, 18, 2, and 9. This is Justin's 5th Masters appearance. Justin, great day today. I'll make a few comments on the round.
Yeah, thank you. Wasn't an ideal start after a pretty good finish this morning. I was bummed about that putt on 18 this morning to finish my first round. I felt like it was a great chance to get tied for the lead and get a little momentum going, and really hit a poor putt. So I tried to get that out of my head as quick as I could. And yeah, it was an odd start to be 2 over after 4. Kind of botched 13 pretty bad, but hung in there and understood, as soft as the course is, I can make a lot of birdies and get it back, and was able to do that, and then gave 2 of them right back on number 1, and just try to stay patient and hang in there. So it's definitely not as low as I feel like I could or should be, but we're in good position going into the weekend.
Great, thank you. Cameron?
Justin, you mentioned earlier in the week that you were soaking up some knowledge from Tiger or soak up some knowledge from Phil. Do you feel at this point that you have the knowledge and now it's just a matter more of execution?
Yeah, I think I touched on that a little beginning of the week, is I felt that way really the last probably 2 years, that I know the golf course. I know what to do, what not to do. I know like the subtle nuances. I just simply haven't executed it and performed it well. You you have to really throw all past knowledge out the window this week, as weird as it is. I mean, I had a chip on 15 this morning to that front pin that usually would be just brutal and really, really hard to hit close. And I had to trust that I just kind of had to gas it and hit it pretty hard, and it was going to spin. I mean, balls are making pitch marks with chip shots and pitch shots. So a lot of the history and things about the golf course, it can sometimes hurt you this week just because of what you're used to. But at the end of the day, it is a lot softer and a lot more scoreable, obviously. But yeah, it really has just come down to executing a little bit better and minimizing the mistakes.
Brian?
Justin, unique situation today in that you finished on 18 and then 30 minutes later you're back on the backside. Is there any benefit to that to kind of build some momentum during the round?
It just really depends how you're playing. I mean, it was nice to play well this morning, but I mean, I felt like not had a good look on 11, 12. I had a short club and a 14, had a good look on 16, short club on 17, good look on 18, and like not getting any of those was a little frustrating, but it's only the first round. There's no reason to get frustrated or press or do anything like that. And so I understood I was playing well. I took the probably 10 minutes that I had to go to the putting green and work with John just on a couple things, because I felt like I was a little, I don't know, something was off, and I just was trying to figure out what it was. And I had an idea, but I just wanted confirmation from him. So we just kind of did that and then stuck to what we were doing and get back out there.
Rex?
AT, can you tell us what was off?
Yeah, I have a tendency to get a little long and slow with my stroke, and I think especially out here with the greens they were definitely faster today than they were yesterday, but especially in the past, I have a tendency to get very skittish and scared on some putts, especially the ones that are breaking so much. And, when the greens are this good and this severe, you have a huge variety of break that you can play on a lot of putts. And I think my timidness in the past has caused me to play the maximum amount of break and feel like I need to dribble it in so it doesn't go 3 or 4 feet past, when in reality on greens it's good. I'm going to make, I would hope, all of my 3 or 4 footers. And if that causes me to make 2 or 3 more around, then I need to be a little bit more aggressive and kind of hit a shot is what John calls it. So just getting a little bit shorter and quicker is what it feels like to me, because when it gets a little longer, I get a lot more face rotation and drag it and decel and hit a bad putt like I did on 18 this morning.
Daniel?
Justin, how difficult is it to throw away that that past history here and your knowledge and trust in the now and these new conditions?
It's really hard. I think that the hardest way to set up this golf course would just be put 18 back pins. It's the greens are so soft. Or they were yesterday and today. I know they're going to get firmer. I'm fully expecting that. But I had 2 5-woods back up today. You look at a hole like 4 with that back left pin. Usually you're just trying to kind of land in that front left little nook there, and it's just going to go all the way to the hole. And I hit a 5-wood today, which is something I've never hit a 5-wood on that hole before, and I flew it up on the top shelf and kept it short of the hole. So it's bizarre to feel like to get it close to a hole like that, you have to fly it up on top because you're usually just can't hit it over that green. But now I understood that if I landed it on the green, it was going to stop. So it is weird, but everyone's dealing with it. It's not like I'm the only one who has to adjust or make maybe uncomfortable in certain situations. The entire field is dealing with the same thing.
That's great. Cameron?
I know you talked about this before, but can you take us back to your very, very first round here and your thoughts about, oh yeah, I could see doing well here, or whatever your thoughts were?
Yeah, I played my freshman year of college. So that I played in February. So that would have been 2012. Played with Jeff Knox, Lee Knox, who's on the team in Alabama, his son, and Bobby Wyatt. It was right after, I think, our first event in Puerto Rico. And, we were so excited. And Lee, when he was in school, would bring a couple guys on the team each year and go play. And Bobby and I just happened to be in that shift, I guess, if you will. And, I just remember being so excited to be here, to come out here. It felt like, a tournament round you're getting ready for. You're nervous on the first tee. We had a great day. I remember I shot even. I made 6 birdies, and it was soft, so it wasn't very difficult in that regard. But no, I think it's taken me a little bit to get over I guess maybe the fear of Augusta National. It's going to play different every year and different conditions. So when it's firm and fast, you have to play it totally different than you do, weeks like this. You can make so many birdies out here if you have control of your golf ball. You're driving it well. You have a fair amount of short irons into the greens, and the greens are so good if you get in the right spots, you can make it from everywhere. So, I'm not going into the rounds expecting to shoot 6 or 7 under, but I understand that, don't go into the round having an 8 or 9 iron being like, oh, I have to hit it over here. I can't short side myself. It's like, dude, it's a 9 iron. Like, trying to make birdie. And it took me a couple of years to get over that. But, I kind of go back to that round and remember, like, dude, you made 6 birdies when you were a freshman in college. I would hope you'd be able to handle it, your 5th appearance here now.
Were you the low man in the group?
I think I was. I beat Mr. Jeff, so that was all I cared about at the time because I know he tears this place up.
Let's take a couple more questions. Jeff and then Luke. Jeff?
Justin, can you give us a highlight or two of the 4 birdie finish and really for all the talk this week about power and distance, can you speak to how you feel maybe your short game can be a really big asset around here?
Yeah, I think there's 2 extremely important assets to this tournament. I think iron play has been pretty consistent in terms of all the winners have been very high up there in greens hit or proximity or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely, in my opinion, a second shot golf course. Obviously, if you don't hit the drives well, the approach shot becomes a lot more difficult. But, on a fair amount of holes, you have a relatively generous driving area. And it is just about getting in the right spots in the holes and just having control of your distance. But the 4, that was making the turn there. I was 2 over and hit a really poor wedge shot on 14 and made par there. And 15 was a really, really good shot. I was between clubs. I had 231 hole, 216 front right. I think it was like 222 to cover the left, and I had the trees in my way slightly. And I hit my 4-iron that I hit like exactly 230, 231, right on that number. But it was a little bit of hurt. Ball still wasn't quite going as far. Just the air's a little thick, and usually to that pin, you land something, especially if it's drawn on that front part to the right, it's going to feed right to it. But that's not the case right now. So I knew that if I roasted that 4-iron, I could get it there, but that wasn't the appropriate play. So I felt like that 5-wood, it's such a great club for me because I feel like I can hit it how I want. I can hit it really low if I need to or really high. And it's funny as it is, that club I got for this tournament in 2016, I guess, my first time. 16, 17, 18, yeah. And I'm still using it. So when I need to hit it really high, I don't choke down on the club, as weird as it is. I always choke down a little bit to give it a little better flight. And so that one would be one I try to hit in the air, but the ball's above my feet, so I still had to choke down a little bit. And I judged it just perfectly to where it came out spinny and got up in the wind to, because that's a 250-yard club and you don't want to go over it, and was able to fly at about 226. So that was a really, really good shot for the time being and got me a little momentum.
Last question, Luke.
Hey, JT, I'm just curious how you deal with going straight from the 18th or from your final hole of the first round. You don't really have enough time to cool down and then warm back up, and then you go straight to the first. Does that disrupt your rhythm? And I'm curious if so, how you build that rhythm back, get comfortable again on the course.
Yeah, it was quick enough to where you didn't really quite have long enough to get out of any rhythm. I just, as soon as I saw my card, I went to the locker room, just grabbed a little bit of food, went and marked my golf balls for the next round. And by then I turned around and I told John, who I work with in putting, to meet me on the putting green by 1:10 tee. So I met him there a little bit after 10, and we hit putts for probably 6-7 minutes. And I mean, within a couple of minutes, we knew what was going on. And then, yeah, we walked to the first tee at about 10-11 and pegged it at 10-14.
And so it doesn't feel like your rhythm's really being disrupted because it was such a short layover?
Not really. And a day like this where it was nice, I think, if you get those 45 or 50-degree days, it's a little chilly where any time you don't spend hitting or moving, you're going to get tight. But it was hot enough, warm enough to where I was doing enough. I didn't feel like I needed to go to the range and hit a couple balls. And quite frankly, I didn't really have time to anyway.
Justin, thanks for coming in today, and all the best for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
Thank you.